So you've got that new board game. You're ready for it to start hitting the table, but the rules, they're a little complex. Or the rule book is a little bit iffy on there. What do we do? How do we do it? Let's look at a checklist. I'm going to offer you the checklist that I like to use when I'm assimilating a new game. And this is very timely because I'm making my way through Mage Knight right now. An amazing game, a complex game, but one of the worst rule books that's out there. All over the place. I thought Mistfall was bad. Mage Knight is tough on there. So I'm putting myself to the test. Fritz is putting himself to the test. And this is the checklist that I utilize. So the first thing is there someone in your gaming group or your gaming circle that already knows how to play the game? Can you get them to walk you through the game? Can you get them to explain the rules? Or can you get them to play the game with a group? Can you be part of a group playing the game 2 or 3 or 4 times? What you're looking to do there is not so much learn the rules, but chunk together, group together the various aspects, the turn, the flow, the order of things in the game. So it's like, first thing you do, refresh. Flip over resources, gain your mana, get your power crystals, draw some more cards, okay? That's the first thing. I might not remember all of those aspects, but first thing is like resource phase, then movement phase, then the fighting phase, then the cleanup phase. If you can see that real time and make that connection, it often helps to have someone showing you the game on there. The advantage this has is it tends to be a lot quicker. It's a lot more immersive because it's physical with a board game, because we're going to look at YouTube in a second. And in that moment, if you have any direct questions, you can quickly ask them. You can quickly check them out and not interrupt the flow of the game or have to wait for a comment or some other aspect of it. That's the ideal. That is the ideal. But I don't have any friends that play Mage Knight, so I'm kind of on my own on there. The second part, and I use this as a resource all the time. I know a lot of enthusiasts in the board gaming community do. This is where YouTube shines. Not only in reviews, well, I like this game, let's see what it looks like. Not only in unboxing, but getting the flow of the game, getting the mechanics of the game. If you don't know someone that physically plays it, I can go onto YouTube, as I am, watching Mage Knight and seeing how it plays. What I would recommend there, again, is I'm not so much interested in the exact nuances of the rules. Even if they leave certain aspects out of it, I'm looking to try and come up with that framework. I'm trying to look and just get an idea, okay, what is the framework of this game? So I don't necessarily want to watch like a 2-hour video. 30 minutes, kind of see where we can go on there. The downside, well, I can leave a comment. I can ask some questions if it's a newer game. If it's one that's much, much older, it might just be a necro thread at that point, and I'm not going to be able to get a response. It doesn't have that real-time kind of feel or component to it. But it is a valuable resource, and that's where I am with Mage Knight right now. Next piece is now actually setting up the game to play it. A demo game or the early mission on there. And the first couple of playthroughs, it's really an exercise in rules and in flow. I'm trying to play the game, but I'm not directly focusing or consciously trying to enjoy the narrative of the game or try to get into the game. One of the things that I do with board games is it's a way to kind of really inject myself into that narrative, into that world, to be that avatar, to play the experience, right? Zombicide Invader, I'm there to like try to just survive and really feel it and detach myself from the rules. Of course, the rules are powering it, but detach myself from the rules to get myself to the point where we're having a real-time experience unfold on the table here. That's the goal. But those first 5 or 6 playthroughs of a new game, it's like I'm taking a test. It's like I'm trying to analyze something. I'm just trying to understand how the game moves through and plays. I'm not going to focus on the narrative. I'm not going to focus on the immersion. Might happen a little bit, but I need to be grouping those rules. After that, that's the direction I'm heading with Mage Knight. After that, we are ready for our first couple of playthroughs. And at this point, of course, we're still going to be looking up rules. We're still going to have some questions. I'm still going to have to pause and go to YouTube or Board Game Geek and try to look something up because the situation's going to arise. The key here now, though, is we're starting to enjoy the game. We're starting to look at the narrative of the game. I won't say I will be a Mage Knight at that point, but I'll be close to it. I'm not going to worry myself with getting the rules wrong. I'm not going to worry myself with if I win, I didn't really win because I forgot a bunch of rules that should have taken me out much earlier. I'm going to try and finish out the game as best I can to understand the rules. And then through playing a few more times, 3 or 4 or 5 times of a type of game, now you're really at a point where ideally you can run it, you can understand it, you can resolve it, you can enjoy the narrative. Depending on the game, you might be ready to now play it with some other friends. You might be ready to host it on there. You might not. That's the checklist. That's kind of the A to Z checklist. And again, ideally, the best thing would be to have a friend to introduce you on how to play it and inject that in there. That cuts down on the learning curve massively. But that's not always practical. That's not always there. That's definitely not going to be there with every game. So then we move to these other steps. That's how I would recommend learning any type of game. That's my game plan right now with Mage Knight. What would you guys recommend in the comment? You've got that brand new game. The box is open. You're ready to go. Literally, what is the attack plan for making that happen?